Lauren, thank you for that introduction. Lauren's a great example and has been a great goal winner here, a great example of our student body. She's what we're striving for. One of our pillars that we're striving for is to be the first choice. We want to make sure we're the right choice. We don't try to compete. We don't try to go after people that shouldn't be here. But there's a certain percentage of the population who is not taking advantage of technical colleges because they haven't been steered in the right direction. It's thought that's not for you. You know the old phrase, it's good for your kid, but not mine. I think Lauren can change your mind about that. Lauren could be anywhere she wants to be, at any college she would like to be today. She chose Gwinnett Tech because that will get her where she needs to be, the quickest, straightest path. She'll leave here with no student debt. She'll go on, I'm sure, eventually decide what four-year degree she would like to get, but she will be well into the workforce, and she will always be 2 years ahead of her peers, no matter what she does. So thank you. We want to be that first choice, and that's become permeated throughout all we do. But on the video, I think you can surely see that for many we're the last hope. So what greater business can you be involved with in education? What great community involvement can you latch yourselves onto? And what a better place to come and work every day than when you can know that you're coming and you spread that gamut of being someone's first choice and someone's last hope. That's a great thing to do. We couldn't do any of this without you. We appreciate you being here today. Thank you for coming out. And the main thing, what started the impetus that got this event started today, was our advisory board members. Thank you for being here. That's the difference that technical colleges have, in Georgia especially, that we've made, is we involve the community in not just coming and showing up. We involve you, your businesses, in the particular profession that you're involved with. Let us know, are we teaching the right things? Are our students, when they leave here, are they productive? If not, we need you to help us guide the direction that we're going. So we appreciate you being here today. And I did this at my previous college. I went AWOL for 3 years to Alabama, to a great community college over there. Most fortunate person in the world, and humbled and grateful to be back in Georgia. We are the most innovative and technologically advanced, cutting edge technical college in Georgia. I would say rising in the Southeast, and I plan on us having a national impact before we're through. We're going to have a say-so in what happens in community and technical colleges across this nation, because times they are changing here. And we want to make sure that people realize what we do, the importance of it, and that it's well-funded, it's equipped, it's staffed, so we can keep this economy in the workforce and make sure that our number one priority, that our students are ready and willing to be productive citizens. I like to keep things simple. So when I said I want to get the advisory board members together. Mary Beth said, great, that's when you can do a state of the college. And I said, well, that's a little heavy, isn't it? And she said, no. And it'll be the first annual. I said, so we'll do it every year. Then I take that. I'm quick like that. And she said, yeah, that's what we'll do. And I said, okay. All right, but I'm not coming behind any curtains or anything. She said, okay. In there. So that's what we did. But what got it started was getting you advisory board members together all in one place, and our other community partners, so you could, I hope, feel what I feel is the excitement and the not nervous tension, but the good kind of tension, the good kind of feeling when you know a community's pulling together and doing something that advances everyone here. So the state of the college came out of that thought. But back to keeping it simple. So I said, okay, so what we're going to do today, very simple. I'm going to tell you what we've done, what we're doing, and what we're going to do. That's just about it in the best way that I can. So what we've done, we're going to pay particular focus on this past academic year that we just finished. We'll digress a little bit. I think you've all seen the commercial where the first words out of the speaker's mouth is, but I digress. Well, college just had its 30th anniversary last year. We're now in year 31. Humble beginnings, great vision by leaders in this community under the Gwinnett County public school system, where it's authority of the GCPS, with one building and a couple of hundred students. And we'll give you some data on where we are a little bit later. today. But we've still got some of those people that were here, as one of them tells me. I was here when there were just porta potties out in the yard out there. Jim Sass with our rad tech, Janice Bolton, who heads up our maintenance and facilities, and Larry Arnson. Three originals. The last three left here, and I know they're here. I know two of them are here. At least stand up here. Let's recognize these people that have put their entire career into one location, one entity in there. Thank you. Jim's also a great personal supporter of the college. I want to thank him publicly for that. So from that start, I'm not going to go through all this. A lot of transitions over the years to get to what we now have as the Technical College System of Georgia, of which we are the flagship. There were 34 college mergers. We're down to 22 today. We all have a board of directors and an advisory board that have advisory responsibility. We also have our Gwinnett Technical College Foundation trustees that work raising funds and friends. That's pretty much the way I like to describe their role. We're now up to 130 programs, and we serve over 20,000 students, individual unduplicated students last year. So that's quite an impact, I believe, we have on our service area. Vision simple. Keep it simple. Teach every individual, serve every business. We are the open access institution that's in our service area. Our system is the open access institution in Georgia. We should never forget that, and we should never shy away from that. One of my other things I repeat often to our faculty and staff and everyone else, we do not guarantee success. We wouldn't have much quality if we guaranteed success. But one thing we do and will continue to do every single day is guarantee opportunity. And we're the only institution on this post-secondary level that will take you wherever you are on the educational spectrum and say, we'll try to get you to where you want to be. We'll do everything we can to get you from point A to point B, and if you don't know where point B is, we'll help you try to get there. Figure that out too. So we play a very vital role when it comes to the overall hierarchy of the educational system in Georgia. We've added programs, we've expanded our facilities. We do this also very nimbly. We're about as lean an organization as you could find anywhere. And one thing that we do best is we're able to move, like I said, nimbly, but we work with our business partners. It doesn't take us 6 months, 9 months. If you need some assistance in your business or there's a workforce need to figure out what to do or get it set up, we're usually there the next week on your site, or you're with us and we're figuring out, all right, what's it going to take to make your business successful? Keep it in this area here. We started off the year in the best way possible. The week that I got this job, the permit was issued to start the construction at the Alpharetta North Fulton campus. And then through one weather event and different events, we wound up having a groundbreaking 6 months later in March, which I can tell you from past experience, I've decided is the best time to have a groundbreaking. Wait till you get 6 months down the road. You've already got some asphalt laid, everything's cleared out. It was the smoothest groundbreaking I've ever been involved in. It was a great event. The governor came. That shows the importance of this project over in Alpharetta North Fulton, what it's going to do to expand our reach to help citizens, the impact we're going to have. There's an overused word, synergy, very much, but I truly believe this is going to be 1 + 1 = 5 or 500 here between these two locations. It is going to give us the opportunity to leverage resources and get some economies of scale to provide even greater service to our students and our business community. I'm also happy to report that the building is on schedule. In fact, it's about 2 weeks ahead. We'll take it over sometime in November. It's also on budget, and that's good news as well. We'll start classes January the 6th, which is a little ambitious, but we don't want any grass to grow between the time that we take over that building and we start operations over there. So we will start in the spring semester. As you'll see, Senator Beach is in that picture, along with some other board members and foundation members and state board members. Also, Maribel Isle, I'd like to mention him. Alpharetta made a $4 million investment in that property over there to get that project kicked off, and we're greatly appreciated to that location. It's a very enviable location now. I think there's a lot of businesses wish they had that piece of property now that no one foresaw Avalon. $600 million investment coming across the street from there. So to say we're going to have exposure is downplaying the exposure to that site. So we've got two great locations, sitting right on Georgia 400 and sitting right in the fork of 316 and 85. What better area could you be in Georgia or the Southeast? I tell people, yes, we've got problems, but if you've got a problem in North Fulton and Gwinnett, that's a good place to have a problem. Right now, I tell you, so I don't want to hear too much complaining. And go to some of our sister institutions here, where, yes, it's 18 miles, and it'll take us 55 minutes sometimes to go that 18 miles. But we have more people between that 18-mile ride than some of our institutions have that have a service area that cover 350 miles and have a third of our population. So yes, we've had issues once in a while, but weigh them out. It's a great place to be. The economy is booming, the businesses are booming, and we're positioned to be a major player in everything that happens in the future in our two areas. The other big thing we did under the direction of our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Julie Post, redesigned, if you've ever been in the 31-year-old building, that is the main building, that's 252,000 square feet under one flat roof. They don't build them like that anymore in there. But it's showing some of its age. We did 40,000 square feet of that for the kind of environment that students expect when they enter a collegiate environment now. But we did more than just renovate the space. We renovated processes. Under Dr. Post's leadership, we now have they see one person, she likes to call it, and I think it's great. We want people to see one or none. We want you to see one person about everything. Admissions, financial aid, that's your contact. That's the person that will guide you through your experience. Even better, we'd like for you to see none. We want to make sure we've got all the apps, everything, social media, our website, all the electronic and technology advances that are there, so a person could actually, in the busy times that we live in now, and most of our students, a lot of our students work, they can do everything they need to electronically if they wish to. So we've already seen in the short few months that facility, that area has been open. Surveys point out that we've had over a 10% increase in student satisfaction rate in just a couple of months. So we know that's going to double and triple over time here. We won some institutional awards. I think the biggest overall award we had, and I'm sorry, I'm in a lot of these pictures. I'm not, my wife has to bear it, so you do too. But the biggest, the Gwinnett Chamber gave us we were awarded the Impact Regional Business Award for education, for our education. And that's of all the higher education entities in the area here. We were voted and came out number one. What I'm most proud about that is that was not a popularity contest. It wasn't one of those where you dial in or log on. It was based on an independent committee, and it was based on metrics and analytical data that had to be submitted, and when the data was compiled, it came out. Gwinnett Tech has the most impact when it comes to the business and industry and of a higher education institution in the area, and we're very proud of that. We also won an award over in the North Fulton Chamber for our partnership and education award with what we do with North Fulton Hospital. Jim Sass, that I mentioned, our Red Tech, was instrumental in that. We're very appreciative to all our hospitals and all our health entities that we work with. We have great partnerships with everyone, and they are the lifeblood of what keeps us at the top of providing nurses and other health professionals in our area. Under the direction of Dr. Victoria Seals, our Vice President of Academic Affairs, we have the finest faculty of any technical college, any two-year college. I'll put our faculty up with most, if not all, of the four-year colleges in the state as well. It's remarkable, and you'll get to hear from one of our great faculty members, Dr. Schultz, in a minute, but it's remarkable the level of experience that we have and the backgrounds of our faculty. I'm just amazed, and our students are very fortunate to be here. Respiratory care won the Distinguished RRT Credential and Success Award. Commercial construction was designated an Associate School of Construction membership, one of only 9 two-year colleges in the nation to receive that designation. Our Economic Development Department was selected by Mercedes-Benz. We all know Mercedes is moving to their headquarters to Sandy Springs and our corporate headquarters, right? That's a major coup and a great win for Georgia. The onboarding and training for those new hires has been happening right here on our campus here in Lawrenceville. We made a pitch for that to happen, and I worked very closely with Mercedes-Benz when I was in Alabama at the college there. They have their main plant in North America is in Tuscaloosa. So they've been bringing them here and onboarding them here, taking them over to tour the plant in Tuscaloosa and bringing them back. But all those employees are coming right through our campus here at Gwinnett Tech. We haven't publicized that very much. We hope to do a little more of that later. But that's the kind of impact that companies of that magnitude say, yeah, we went to 5 or 6 places. I'm not sure how many they wound up seeing. We like what you guys said. We're going to put our confidence in you that you're going to onboard and we're going to eventually have the staff that we need. They're bringing, I think, 200-300, and they're hiring 200 or 300, but those are all coming through here at Gwinnett Tech. So it looks good on Monday morning to ride in and see the Mercedes logo next to the Gwinnett Tech logo in here. And we're thankful for all the dealerships that we get to work with here and all of our automotive partners. Adult education, we've got the best, and this is a definite fact because we can prove it with the awards they just won. We have the greatest adult ed department in the state, led by Stephanie Rooks. And Stephanie, are you here somewhere? I saw you earlier in there. Let's give Stephanie a hand. That's, when I say open access, that's where it starts for a lot of our students. We have to find out where they are, what level are they reading, what level is their math, their reading comprehension. We have a tremendously large and successful English as a second language program. If you don't believe it, come out here on a Saturday morning and see some of those programs. The parking lots are full with that. So that's a service that we're providing to the community that if you took away, this community would look a lot different and be a lot less productive if we did not have those services here. But they were just awarded for having the largest number of GED completers, as well as 3 distinct awards just this week: the Overall Achievement of Educational Gain benchmarks, the greatest percentage growth in adult education enrollment, and the greatest number of students awarded citizenship. That's of all the systems. So great job by that group. We've had students that have won national awards. Tracy Vort, Skills USA, is a paramedicine student who won the silver medal at First Aid at CPR out in Kansas City. A National Interiors Award from our student Dale Lindsay Carruthers took first place in the STIR Sherwin-Williams Student Design Competition. So how many of you knew that we had interior design here? And we have some people doing some great things, students getting great jobs and making an impact on some of the largest projects being developed in this state. And the person doing a lot of that design work came from right here at Gwinnett Tech. Kwamam Onang, a computer information system student, was the Cisco National Networking, named to the Cisco National Networking Academy Dream Team in there. So we've got a lot of students doing some great things. I'm proud of everyone, but I'm proud of Ty Lee. I met Ty Lee right after I came here, and we have get a lot of good student advice from her. But she came here. She was a student when I came. She's now graduated and runs our farm program, our farm-to-table program that we have here. We have an actual urban farm out that produces a lot of produce. We're going to expand that over the next year, and hopefully you'll be buying your produce, a lot of it, from here off the campus soon. But Ty Lee has done so well and is so thought of that she landed the cover of a national trade publication. So there's not many people can say they have a student that's on a national trade publication, and that was before she even got out and got to work here. But Tylee is also our Distinguished Student of the Year for 2015, and as Tylee's here, I talked to her earlier. Let's give Tylee a hand here. And Tylee is going to make a mark in the urban farming area. That is for sure. She has a passion for it, and she has what would just have to be considered an innate skill in the ability of what she's doing over there. Program accreditations, we had 14 programs that get national accreditation, individual accreditations, in addition to our accreditation with the Southern Association of Colleges and School Commission on Colleges, SACCOC, as everyone calls it. And I don't know if most of you probably know this, but there's only one accreditation you can get in higher education. It doesn't matter if you're UGA, Kennesaw, UCLA, or GTC. There's one accreditation. We all get looked at by the same people. We have the same accreditation, and that's SACCOC, and we're very proud of that, to be a SACCOC institution. One thing that's sort of a passion of mine, I've picked up over the later years in my career, are transfer agreements. I believe that we are, like, being an open access institution, Georgia changed a little bit over the years. One thing I did learn in Alabama was how great these transfer agreements can have an impact on your student body. We want people to come here, like I said, be the first choice if it's the right choice, but we don't want them to stop here. The higher education level of a community, it's just a statistical fact. The higher that overall level is, the higher the socioeconomic level is. It's a 1-to-1 ratio here. So we want our students to have the ability, when they choose to go on and pursue their educational career wherever that may be. Right now we have 35 agreements, including 19 with private universities. Georgia has guaranteed that the Regent system takes 27 of our courses are guaranteed to transfer to any public institution in Georgia. I will say that almost all the private institutions take all our credits, but we're getting there. It was 0 when I started. 27's a lot higher than 0, and I am a CPA, but that's about the extent of my math skills there. I keep my license. It looks good on my card. I wouldn't let me do anything at all, though. We just had a new agreement that we signed with Georgia State University in our College of Education so that our early childhood ed graduates, if they desire, can go on to Georgia State and get a 4-year degree in that. They're taking all our credits. And we just signed a new agreement with Tuskegee University that I'm very proud of, that gives our construction management students a pathway to a 4-year degree in construction management if they wish to do. We've also got about 4 or 5 other transfer agreements we're working on. We've got 2 with Georgia Gwinnett that I think are very important. That was a goal right after I came here that I set forth, that we've got to have our sister institution in the same location as if we've got to have a pathway to ensure that Gwinnettians and anyone in the service area have a direct path to the closest 4-year institution available, and we're getting there. You want to tell how good a faculty is? At a technical college or a community college, it's very simple. What are they doing on their exam pass rates? Having served at a college that lost its nursing accreditation and the 2-year process it took to get that back, we watched these numbers, believe me. So we're very proud. We had programs with a pass rate of 100% on the first try in rad tech, paramedicine, vet tech, surge tech, respiratory tech, and cosmetology. You can't get too much better than 100%. So we'll take that. Great faculty is what makes that happen. Pass rates happen outside the classroom as much as they happen inside the classroom. Preparing someone, the skill sets learned, the knowledge in the classroom. the personal preparation, the confidence building, that takes place outside of the classroom through mentoring and hands-on caring, and we're very fortunate to have that. What we're doing, what are we going to do? We had a lot to celebrate. We've done a lot this last academic year, but the past, that's it. That won't do you any good. As I tell people, you can't put that on a deposit slip. It just will not work. Here, you've got to, so what are you doing next? We're very fortunate. We've been designated as the 10th fastest growing community college in the nation. That's a pretty good record. And when we get our Alpharetta North Fulton campus up and going, we'll hopefully keep that trend. We'll also continue to be the 3rd largest technical college in the technical college system. The asterisk besides that is we have one campus right now with over 7,000 students. The number 2 campus has 7,500. 2 college has 7,500 students on 5 campuses, and the number 1 college has 9,000 students on 7 campuses. So that's a lot of pressure on one campus. We're supporting more on one campus than about 16 of our 22 colleges support throughout their entire satellite campuses and everything that they have. So we're very glad to be able to have the Alpharetta North Fulton campus. It will relieve pressure off of this campus. It will make those students that are having to make that drive across over here, give them a place to go. It will be other programs that we have that some of our other institutions do not have around the area. There will be those counties west and north of us that will, of that campus, that will take advantage of that, we believe for sure, based on some zip code demographics that we've done. We are, the Atlanta Business Chronicle recognized us as the 13th largest college of all colleges and universities. You'll see UGA is number 1, then you go down the list, Georgia State, Kennesaw, Georgia Tech, Emory, the usual players. But we're number 13. How many of you would think that? You don't think that when you came here today, you're at the 13th largest institution in the metro Atlanta, northern Georgia area. So when we get the Alpharetta campus next year up and running, I feel confident we're going to crack the top 10. With that comes a lot of responsibility. Our enrollment, there's those 20,000 students that I'm talking about, unduplicated students, but we've got our credit programs, our adult ed, our continuing education, which also includes our economic development and workforce with what we do with business and industry. That's a major impact that we have on the area. Health and life sciences still remain our largest area here, business and computer science after that. All our programs are important. They're important to keeping the businesses running in our area. Life sciences, I have to mention that because of the great building that we have. That program, and there's so many students there, and it's so successful for one reason. That's because we have that life science building. We have great faculty in there, but if they didn't have a facility to do that in, they couldn't do it in the parking lot. And that's because this community got behind that facility over there. $7 million was raised, if you'll remember. Dan, I think that number's right, in this community to advance the process of getting the state to kick in the rest to build that building. That hasn't happened at any other technical college in Georgia. It's happened at four-year universities. That's a normal occurrence, right? That's the first time it's happened at the technical college system. And that's what's differentiated this system. This isn't about me, but this is my 5th technical college in the system, plus the one in Alabama. So when I talk about our system, I may not know much, but I know about that here. I've been involved with it for a little over 30 years now. The thing that has differentiated and made this campus, and it's always been known, and I'm just so thankful that I'm here now to get to experience, the thing that has made the difference, this is another thing I probably say too much, but I've worked at colleges, all those colleges, and everyone has had great, smart, dedicated, hard-working people, every one of them. And that'll take you a long way. But you put those characteristics together with resources, you can go a whole lot farther, a whole lot faster. And that's what Gwinnett Tech's been able to do throughout the years to distinguish itself. And it's through community support. You in this room, your peers, are why that has happened. And I thank you, our faculty and staff and students thank you. And I pledge to do everything I can that we continue to keep your confidence in us doing that, because we've got a lot more plans down the road. Good way to tell you're successful, graduates. We had a 27% increase last year in our total number of graduates. We award more associate degrees than any other technical college, and about half of the four-year colleges in the system in here. Our next competitor, if you want to call it, closest to us is 28% less in number of associate degrees awarded. So not only are we getting students here, we're retaining them, and we're getting them to graduate, because that's what it's all about, is getting them all the way through the process here. I talk about the great North Fulton and Gwinnett service area that we have, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but sometimes you have to step back and think a little bit. We've got 21 high schools, and these are public schools now. 21 in Gwinnett, 7 in North Fulton, not counting private schools in here. 1 out of 5 Metro Atlantans and 1 out of 8 Georgians live in our service area now. 1 out of 8 Georgia school-age children live in our service area. That's 12% of the total school population in the state that's in Gwinnett Tech service area. We don't take that lightly. We're the linchpin between those students, I'd say 75% of them, whether they're going to be successful in life or not. 50% of them will be first-generation college students if we reach them correctly. So again, great responsibility. You've got to have adequate resources to do that, both financially, personnel, and support. We have that now, and I hope you pledge with me that we're going to continue to have that at Gwinnett Tech. The service area, a lot of work we've got to do. Our job is to get employees that are sustainable and competent to keep our business and industries running. That's a big job in this service area. 21 of the top 50 public companies sit in our service area in Georgia. 8 in Gwinnett, 13 North Fulton. Of the top 20 technology companies in Georgia, 11 out of 20 sit in our service area. 2 in Gwinnett, 9 in North Fulton. That's a big responsibility. We want you to help us be successful so we can make successful students. They can go to work in those companies, because that's all that's going to keep them in Georgia. You can have all the other benefits you want for a company, but if they can't find a sustainable, competent workforce, they're going to go somewhere else. And so we need your help in doing that. We hear a lot about unemployment rates. Goodness, we're bombarded with numbers. And it seems like one tick makes the stock market just do crazy things, and the other financial markets here. Don't you just love our technology that now you don't get time to breathe anymore. One tick will do it. But what does that unemployment rate really mean? Although it's lower and going down, there are still many people that are employed, but they're not employed in a meaningful career, or their skills are not being matched to their job. A lot of them are underemployed. A lot of them have seen their job, their career, go away, never to come back again. That career is history. They probably went to college, like I did 35 years ago, and that job's gone. It's not coming back. They've got to come and retool. And I believe our number this semester is we've got somewhere around 20% of our students already have a 4-year degree. They're coming back because they found out this is the place that can get me in the workplace, change my life quicker than anywhere. Another, it's over 40, I can't remember the number of students, already have 1 to 3 years of college. They went somewhere, it didn't work out for them. And I'm going to go out on a limb. This is just me. This is just one of those Glen statistics. It's what I feel when I talk to people. They served that 1 to 3 years. They went because somebody told them that was what they needed to do. They never asked them what they wanted to do. They told them what they needed to do. It was expected. They went there. I talked to one gentleman, well-known, great guy, very successful in his career. Said he had 5 children. He said, and we sent them to the best school available. He actually went to private school. They thought that was the option for them. He said, they got out, we spoon-fed them, forced them college, where they were going to go. He said, all 5 of them went. He said, 2 of them made it. So the other 3, 2 of them are with you. 1 of them is still trying to figure out. He said, I wish we'd have just sent them there to begin with. That's where they needed to be. He said, but I'll just tell you, it didn't sound good. And so he wishes he had all that tuition money back now. They wouldn't be on Dad's dime anymore. They'd be out in the workforce somewhere. That's not the case for everyone. It wasn't the case for me, and it wasn't the case for probably 95% of you either. But it is the case for about 80% of Georgians now, because we've got about 80% of the people that need to do something. That other 80% number comes in, that 80% of the jobs that start at $50,000 or more over the next 5 years are going to require only 2-year degrees, but they're going to require that degree. You're going to have to get that job, and we offer something in every one of those fields that are being reported now. So it's a great place to be. With that comes great opportunities. We've got our business growth means that we've got to provide that competitive, educated workforce. We've got great work we can do with our high schools, and that's opportunity for us, but we can't fulfill those promises without you, our great partners. These are just some. We put as many on the screen as we could get here, but we could fill up screen after screen. We've had some people make some major commitments to this college over the years. They continue to make commitments. Some of them have just re-upped their commitment for future years so that we can continue to do what we do. This is what a technical college looks like now. We still have welding. Don't get upset. We still have welding, and we do it better than anyone. In fact, a good percentage of our welders are getting great jobs up at the Caterpillar plant that was built. The others are finding jobs in construction. In fact, we're having serious graduation problems in that area because as soon as they get up to a skill level, they get hired. So we're going to have to work on getting those back through and get our graduation rates up. But I tell you what, I'd rather have someone fully employed and happy and working, coming to school part-time, than I had an unemployed full-time worker any day here. So we're proud of what we're doing in all those areas. Real quickly, what we're going to do over this next fiscal year, one of the major emphases we've had right after I came here, and Dr. Post, the IE group, has been great to work with, academic affairs, everyone's chipped in. We engaged in a rigorous strategic planning process. We involved the faculty, community, students, visitors, everyone to see what we were doing. And we've decided on some things we're going to do. We're going to support the whole community. We want to be the first choice. Like I said, also remembering we're also some's last hope. Enhance our workforce partnerships, because that's what it's all about. We want to strive to be the first, best, and trendsetter. I fully intend on us doing that so that we can have that say-so in what happens with national policy and state policy when it comes to technical education and workforce development. Enrich our global connections. This is definitely a global community that we live in, and we've got some strides to make in those areas to affect some of those communities that we have not interacted with or we are not reaching as we should. We're going to correct that, and we've already put some processes in place and some initiatives to make sure that we do that. And then lastly, we're going to conduct our operations socially and fiscally responsible by giving back to the community. There's not a day goes by that some of our faculty, staff, or students are not out doing something in the community. They're always out. I get a report almost daily of when I run into somebody, your students were out, your faculty was out, we couldn't have done it without them, and we're going to continue to do that. Under that, we've got some goals of employee enrichment. It's a lifelong learning process, folks, and in whatever business you are, we want to make sure our faculty and staff have the wherewithal to keep their skill levels up. Our facilities and infrastructure, we've got some great plans for those and keeping our technology up. We also want to work on our perception evaluation where we're acceptable for everyone to say and be proud, yes, my son, my daughter, or myself go to Gwinnett Tech. Student enhancement, our programs and our workforce development, because that's what we do in everyone better than anyone. And our first priority is getting this campus up and going over in Alpharetta, North Fulton. It's going to be one of the showcases of our system, very visible over there, and we've got to make sure we do a good job. And with our partners over in that area, I feel confident that we will continue to work on Move On When Ready, which is what all the dual enrollment programs have combined to. Very thankful to have Dr. Flint from Gwinnett Schools here today and Dr. Anderson from the Fulton County School System with us today, our two great partners. We've already got some great success stories. We've got 243 students I'll just single them out over at Maxwell involved. And we have 58 students from Johns Creek taking English, college English this time. And they're scattered throughout. We doubled last year to over 600 dual enrollment. We're going to exceed that number and go even higher this year for those students to have an opportunity to come out of high school with college credits that did not cost them anything, thanks to Governor Deal and the legislative initiatives through Move On When Ready. Let's close out there. You know what this guy got this reel up here for? Well, you know, we talked about a little bit. This isn't about me, but it is my first address after my first year to many of you. You know, my professional background. Personally, my mother and father are from South Georgia, so I get this accent honest. After traveling around a little bit, it's sort of funny, ironic, whatever. The only city in America seems to be Atlanta that you can be told, I love your southern accent. It's like, think about that one for a minute here. But so I get that honest, but they come from the border of the Georgia-Florida line down there. They both had 5 brothers and sisters, and they were the only 2 that left, migrated north. Might as well have been Canada to the rest of the family, to Atlanta. To Atlanta for my father to attend seminary, and he stayed here. But the one thing he brought with him from South Georgia that never left, he had one hobby when he was growing up, which means I had one hobby growing up, and that was we fished. And we fished, and we fished here. And him being what he called a country preacher, he had a lot of time he could fish during the week too there, so he fished a lot. But every weekend we were out somewhere fishing. And what got me thinking about this, I keep this in my office there. And, his anniversary of his death would be next week, 10 years that he passed away. And after he passed away, I went fishing one time after that, and just wasn't the same, so I sold the boat, sold the truck, and started giving away all the fishing stuff and took up golf. I didn't know I'd spend as much time in the water as I did fishing, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm getting there. But as I was getting rid of everything, there was one thing I couldn't bring myself to get rid of, and that was this old reel here. And if you ever bass fish or anything, you know what an ambassador reel is. This one's about 50 years old here. It's the original ABU Garcia Ambassador 5000. You see the worn spots there where his thumbs were on there. So no matter what we bought, and you think you put a lot of money in golf clubs, you can put a lot of money in fishing now especially. So no matter what kind of equipment we bought through the years, tons of it. I had a garage full of stuff. He'd always go back to that old reel every single time. So I was looking at that, and I got to thinking about it. And the other thing that he had in his office, which although it wasn't biblical, it was certainly a proverb, he had framed, and I think it had to do with his fishing background, was just the old proverb that if you give someone a fish, you'll feed them for a day. But if you teach them how to fish, you'll feed them for life. And as I was putting my remarks together, I guess I got to staring too long and thinking about him, I guess, with the anniversary coming up, and saw that. And that's really what we're about here at GTC. That's really the only reason we show up every day. There's no other reason for this entity to be here, except it's about jobs. That's what we're here for. But to me, a job is just giving someone a fish. You feed them for a day. Jobs really aren't. If you really want a job is not that hard to find. And that's just defined by you doing some kind of physical or mental activity and someone giving you some remuneration for it. That's not hard to find. But that's not what I want us to be about here. And that's not what we're going to be about here. We want jobs that equal great careers. Because I firmly believe, another thing I probably say too much, the best thing that you can do for someone in their life is give them the ability to do for themselves. That's the best thing you can do. There's no greater pride someone has when they get up in the morning and they go out to work and they enjoy that work and they know they're productive. There's no greater example a child can have than to see a parent get up, get dressed, and go to work every day and understand that process. And for too long, we've had too many children that have grown up not seeing that happen. So how do we expect them to do any different? We've got to change that. That's what we do every day here at Gwinnett Tech. That's what you help us to do. If you'll continue to work with us, I promise we're going to keep this 30-year tradition going for the next 30 years. We're the key to bringing the middle class back to America. Your technical and community colleges, we're the key to bringing manufacturing back to Georgia, that's for sure. We're doing that every day. We thank you for your support. Thank you for taking your time, coming out and putting up with me. Thank you to all our great faculty and staff, and let's hope for another great 30 years. Thank you.